Okay, so I'm going to do some more package building, and I'm going to just try to continue to show what I do when I try to build stuff. Try to show off or demonstrate, just some games or applications that are working in the system, um, to the limit that I'm able to get them to work. Um, and to the degree they don't work, it could be partly because I just don't know how to fix it. And I don't have the skill to fix it. And I'm hoping other people will be able to fix what I've done. My original purpose was to try to look for new things that hasn't been worked on yet. I don't really know if I've really done much of that. I'm just getting started in that area, perhaps. See how things work that aren't used that commonly in Haiku. Build things that aren't commonly built in Haiku, and just try to clear some of the ground out of the way for people that are more professionally inclined to porting applications than I am. It's pretty much, and if I ever perceive that, if I've ever perceived that I've thought something may be an issue or need to be changed, I'll mention it. And then I'll mention, at least I hope, when I think I got it wrong. Such as when I thought the lack of hard links was causing Python 27 to not build, which was completely incorrect. I'll even try to show or clear things up. Python 27 doesn't need the user directory, and try to show that. Also, just try to let people know what I do to get things to build, so that they can at least do that and then modify it for their own purposes and maybe do better with it. And that's really my hope. I'd be happiest with that. And the patches that I'm putting up there is for everybody. BS, I don't have a license on that. If you want to think I have it's a BSD, okay, well, whatever. Anything I've done is BSD. Free to use, free to change, whatever. I'm just putting it out there. Got no problem with what anybody does with anything they do, and that includes everything. If you want to build stuff by hand, I hope that some information that I give you is helpful. And there's something else I wanted to mention. There are some, and if I were better at doing this, I would help. I don't know if I am. I don't want to irritate anybody by trying and screwing up. But nonetheless, I may try. But if you are knowledgeable or skilled, and you've used excuse me as I cough here. If you use Gentoo's Portage or anything like that, there are a few. I read an email. There's a few recipes in Haiku Porter that could use some updating, and there's 70 of them. And if there's just 5 people, or if each person does just 3 or 4, you know what? I'll try to do 3 or 4. I just don't want to. I do not want to screw it up. But at least that's part of the whole overall goal to to work through. So pardon my asthma. It's just asthma. That's pretty much what I want to say before I get started here. I also do have a habit of just kind of screwing around, maybe if I was better at comics, maybe God would have been kinder if he had made me a comedian, but since I'm not really a comedian, anyway. For the most part, I want this to work for everybody, no matter what thing they choose to do or what way they choose to go about getting there. In general, that's the general principle. And I guess before I even start building some stuff, I mean, just if you look, you have a whole operating system that's made by a community that there's a kernel's been made. There's a whole file system that is no easy task to do. And I've mentioned the things that I want or hope for to be added to that file system, but that doesn't really detract from the fact that it was a huge job, a tremendous amount of effort to make, and nothing to take. I don't I don't take that effort small at all. I have a lot of respect for that effort. The graphical user interface and the way this has come together, it's come together. The reason why I keep using it, in part, is because it's got a reasonable interface to use. It's not hard to get around. There isn't. Things make sense. Well, that's how you close things, and you can move around. You can copy things. You can find things that you want to find. I wish I knew a little bit more about putting icons in the desktop, but I'm just Mr. Icon anyway. Most people don't have consider what I have is pretty much cluttered. I'd have this thing littered like a Christmas tree if I could. But with what I'm doing, I just haven't looked into it. But it's a good OS. And frankly, it just occurs to me, Samba has been running very reliably in this thing. I mean, very reliably. The network copies are fast, just as fast as with anything else. So it's a good system. And what's been motivating me is wanting to see a lot of apps, all the apps, every app available for this system. So people in this that like this system as their first choice will be able to run as many apps as possible. And the quickest way that I've been able to even try to approach it was to go the only real path that I knew how to go in the first place, and that was package source. Haiku Porter, I tried building a game. It wasn't that long ago, and it just kept built all the way up to the game. It's not bad. I just want to see more things. Actually, I want to see more things in there. I'm kind of exploring, really, and trying to enhance the tool sets that are out there. I'm trying to honor the efforts that were made to get package source working in this system as well. And I've done a poor. In fact, I've done a very poor job honoring Haiku Porter, in as much that it is a tool that helps people do what they want to do. That's basically the way I view this. The logic that I think of is centered around the end user, and so I think in terms of overall utility the operating system provides for everybody, including, even when it comes to certain choices that we've made, I'll mention, it's the way I am. I'll mention things that I think would make sense to change that would be good for everybody overall. such as maybe header redirects or hard links. But I don't need to go into a laundry list right now. I just basically try to build some more stuff. I probably should rehearse these things more before I do demonstrations, because I have a lot of applications actually that I could choose that are games that are here that actually work to some degree, that I just have to remember which ones they are. And then also amongst trying to build stuff, show that things can be built and run, or show that some things, be real about it. Some things you're going to build and they're not going to run. I have to either improve my patches or figure out what settings I need to change, or what I can do, and if I can't, mention it, that this or that is preventing me from doing what I want to do. I only see those things as hopefully ending up helping the operating system become more usable. And it's not a finished product, so it's to be expected, to some degree, that there's going to be some issues. But I'll also speak up if I think that there's something that needs to be changed, and no one's ever going to agree to do that. And what the consequences might be as a result. We'll never be able to do this or that, or we just won't have the manpower to do this or that. That's just what I do. That's what I've tried to do. So right now I'm in the stage. It's not as fun as the first stage, where most of the things I'll get a lot of builds in one day, and a couple things I'll patch here and there, but mostly I'm seeing just a lot of new builds every day. Now I'm not going to see that, because I've exhausted all the things that are just going to build, or that I've already patched and will get me, that's a little more encouraging, because there's right now I'm at the stage where everything is pretty much, I gotta do something to get these things to build, because they're in the circumstance that they are, as relative to the operating system. It's the porting process that happens. Not to be unexpected. I should talk a little bit about SDL Mixer, because I don't know if I ever was really clear about that. I simply was not able to get that to build. I had to use Haiku Porter to build it. I managed to get package source to make something that looked like a package, but was empty of contents. So, but it would. So I just took the thing I built in Haiku Porter and put the binaries and libraries and the other stuff in the places that they belonged, and effectively I have an install, but it's a very ugly way to go. But the SDL Mixer is important for a number of games. I don't know what to do about the undefined references that are coming up. I still don't know why there's a difference between, and maybe I'll just try seeing if I can link in library translation into Mesa and see if it turns out any different. But it seems like I've got limited time, and I'm gonna wonder, well, am I gonna explore and experiment and see how things go and pass information on as I find it, if I succeed that time, or do I just start building stuff? I think for the most part I'm just going to start building stuff, because it's a crap shot as to whether the mere inclusion of library translation and library game into Mesa is going to make the difference as to whether I have unresolved symbols in there or not. I've already got the source down here. Maybe I'll just do that. That's kind of, I guess that's the itch I guess I'm gravitating towards scratching. So, just talk a little bit more about Mesa, at least as I perceive or understand it. I don't fully understand what scan is. It looks like it has something to do with Python. I've never really actually done anything with this. I've seen a lot of paths and some Python code that I don't know what it means. Configure, this stuff basically means that library tool is going to be used, but at the end of the day, in this bin directory, the thing that actually makes the libraries is this mklib that I had to patch. Most of the time, when library tools involved and there's a make file involved, you have to get it done right and configure. It's not gonna even build. I've gone so far as to use the same mklib here that's housed up at the at Haiku's GitHub, and I'm not seeing anything new come out of it. If I sit here and I poke around, it'll have, most of my time taken up because I don't have a pause button. I really don't have the time to be editing these things. It's a bunch of nothing. And a few gems here and there that might be helpful. Overall, what I'm going to look at right now is my way of attempting to try to, I think I've variables everywhere, but where you actually put these libraries. I don't know. So I have no idea where it's getting the stuff it links to. The fact that this thing's involved makes it and it's different than a lot of the other builds. It makes it a little more difficult for me to try to figure out what's going on here. I'm seeing elements of what's normally in a make file all over the place. Here's the actual Haiku file that I made. But what actually makes, I don't even know if it's even being used. So for example, if a math library is needed, where the hell do you put it? That's what I want to know. Well, let's try to look for this. CD Alt V grep minus R. I don't know, minus LM. Let's see if anybody's got. No, because it doesn't like that. And that's too generic. So let's try LSocket. Okay, so that's in configure. Some kind of automate cache output. I mean, it doesn't make any. Usually configure will put something somewhere that means something. So what is this? So, I mean, this looks like a configure script to me. It doesn't look like the actual make file. And who knows? I mean, maybe it uses configure to make. It's just crazy. Yeah, so he's just checking stuff. Take a log file. No presence of ill network. We got sconstruct, whatever that is. Trying to figure out what the hell am I actually doing wrong here. And that, of course, is the problem. I think it probably relies on library tool way too much. Current happens to be, of course, you're not going to tell me what current is. Let's see, good info. Link to autoconf. There are some frickin' libraries. Alright, let's see if we could add minus L translation. Library game. But who knows? I mean, auto implies it's not going to behave. That is, it's not going to keep the changes I make. I deleted the source, so now it's redoing the fetch. I just want to give myself some more hard disk space. So I have to mark this stuff now. Say the build isn't done. The install isn't done. Alright, try it again. Do I still have that open? Because I want to see if this thing changes. Alright, then I have to go and make clean, I guess. Alright, let's go make clean. And build is not done. And the install is not done. Not really thinking this is going to make a difference. LD flags might work, but yeah, who knows. Or I could force a substitution between library root and library. Is this thing still open? Ugh. I don't even know if this is sufficient. And I'm also almost to the point where I think I'm just beyond my ability to accomplish what I'm hoping to accomplish. The things I talked about earlier. This might have been a good target to use. All I could do is, once it's built, do a read elf minus D on it and see if those things are linked in or not. I.e., library game and library translation, the two things I included. Now, the only hope I have is, because I did make clean the way I did, it's not going to try to reconfigure, I hope, and screw up this auto comp, which I guess is where all the libraries are. It's taking a long time. Hasn't even reached the linking stage yet. I also tried, transforming out the visibility equals hidden. Had no effect. mean, nothing I tried that had anything to do with anything as far as what you're supposed to do seemed to have any effect on the fact this build had just seems to want to hold on to its undefined references. Which kind of makes me think that some of the functions that are normally provided by something else are provided, either aren't here in Haiku or provided by something else. And why am I even doing this? I'm doing this to solve a problem that people will have when they try to build their own Mesa. At least some people. My target isn't part of the population. My target's the entire population. Which is the way I think anybody that works on the core of an operating system should have that attitude. In general, because if you don't, it leads to problems that'll come back and get you. If you don't leave yourself open for different use cases, or only, you know. I understand the idea of supporting certain use cases. Yeah, I understand that. But you really want to, when you're doing stuff, to support, or not to exclude certain use cases. It just causes more issues later. Alright, so this thing's made, and the question is whether if I'm going to get a different result when I do readelf. All that stuff would have been replaced in the build link. No, it's not the build link. The destination directory, which is what ends up becoming the package. There's your path. Just not, like, I'm almost dreading doing this. Because I've tried so many different things, it's like don't have a lot of faith this is going to work. So luckily I thought of it myself, and no one else suggested I do it because I don't want to say this kind of thing. All right. In fact, I wanted minus D to see first. Did I get libraries I was interested in? No, I didn't. So I'm not even linking to different libraries, so what does it matter? I could do readelf minus A, and I'm still going to see the same goddamn result. Undefined references galore. I'll just stop this. If I don't, I'm actually going to wonder why. If I don't in this case. Yeah, there you are, 14327, same giant. Now I've built thousands of packages. I don't know how to get a freaking library in this goddamn thing. And you know what? I might as well make a copy of library translation, library game. Put it in package source library, break all the rules, do all the things no one would expect me to do. I'll forget that I did, and people wonder how the hell I did anything I did. Right now, I'm just looking for answers, and possibilities of what those answers could be is so wide. Yeah. I do try to think of as many things as I can. In some cases, I'm not very well. Okay, I gotta make clean again. Sometimes I'm not very well equipped to have the answers. Sometimes I have them. Alright, let's do it again. Figure if I sub my variables out for library math, I'm hoping it's going to do what I want it to do. It's taken such an effort to recreate this system that I don't think there's any one person who knows about how every one little aspect of the system works, and documentation's a lot to ask for. We have a small group of people that are, working, and especially when the system's constantly changing, I mean, how many times you can change the documentation? It's using FPIC, so it should be making sure live. The question is, I just don't see any. I mean, I just literally don't see any libraries being passed for the purposes of linking. Make me something stupid as this. The variable value has not been set. And I'm missing a header. Well, there you go. That's it. No symbols for you. I don't know. It could be anything. Or it could just be that it's just not possible the way I'm trying to do it. The parts have to be put together in some other way, but I'm trying that. I mean, this is the thing. This in shared memory is what. And library PNG not being able to, I don't know if I got image magic made incorrectly and it can't handle library PNG, or if it's something else, it's just. Who knows? But whenever these games, a lot of these games that have library PNG involved, it won't load. And this is, it's a while, as you can see, it's a while to wait between each try, and when the actual path to success is completely unclear. Still not seeing any libraries at all. Seems like no matter what I do, it just ain't gonna build the way I want it to build. Cannot include file bbuild. What the hell is that? If I was a betting man, would I bet on this actually? And what's this? Up here. Library math. I repeat. Come on. Same deal. And none of the libraries I wanted to link with. Once again. Golly, man. No clue in the vmake files. Anybody else has worked around this? I don't think. If no one else could reproduce a necessary building block for a system, this gets to the point where you wonder, is this... It's almost like it isn't open source or something. It's, I don't know. Whoop-de-doo. Whatever. I noticed on some of these where it had, let's see, this GLX destroy context seems to be a common thread even in the Haiku Mesa, where it's got this void here. I've noticed there's a trend, but I have no idea what the hell void means. I mean, what the fuck does that mean? I could try passing LD flags. Supposedly autocomp is being used. Let's move. Now we've been regimented to the category of obscure, so now it's like, if anybody works on this, they're just going to do it out of curiosity. They're not really going to want to get to go anywhere. And we earn that by being so damn different. Unfortunately. Reason to play ball with people. I call it like I see it. I do appreciate the work that's been done, which is why I'm still doing this. You can scratch your heads trying to sort out why I'm doing this. That's why. I want to see this go somewhere. Alright, let's make clean again. Let's see if it'll tell me the compiler doesn't know how to make an executable, or damn bit of difference there. Alright. Do it again. Open conditional. Alright. How did I screw that up? It's not unlike me. Question is, what script surprise have I provided for myself? We don't have an indiff here, is what. Edit, copy. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to pass. The only way I really actually think I know how. I don't know how to get, package source isn't really designed to be passing configure arguments. The command line, as far as I know, I may not understand. I should just try bmake and then the configure argument and see if that does anything, But I haven't seen that that's documented. Don't know. God. Well, it hasn't complained so far. But I might, I might have to start all over again. Because what I said earlier about just cleaning and not configuring, of course I'm going to get the same result. So I'm trying to do anything but edit the files that have already been modified by configure. I'm just feeling this is going to be a waste of frickin' time. Okay. I'm not even going to continue that. It's going to start over again. Don't have any magic patches on there that I'm worried about. Alright, let's do it. I'm only trying to pass on library translation and the other one to this, because that's what's in the Haiku. That's the only blatantly identifiable difference that I have besides the result that I'm trying to resolve, which is the unresolved symbols. Bottom line is the information really should be out there. Something as major as Mesa. If this is the answer, this should have been known a long time ago. If you're building by hand, you want to build Mesa, you got to do it this way. I don't see that that's been mentioned much, if at all. You would think if it was required to be mentioned, at least on a mailing list at some point, if and when someone had a question about it. I don't even see anybody complaining about this anymore. Of course, if the magic search string is package source, Haiku and Mesa, and the answer's right there. I'm gonna. Nope. Wait a second. Fixes for building on Haiku. Okay. God. Seeing little snippets from my videos here. What's this? Why don't you read the package doc to do and at least do your part of the work? What the hell is this? That's what the lists are for. It's a community where people talk to each other. That's right. Thomas Klossner. I've seen this guy before. Well, not much on that. Let's see what. I mean, basically, in general, these guys are so skilled. They know what they're doing so well. And I'm not being ironic. I mean, I do mean this. A lot of the time, the BSD mailing list are not verbose, and it's just because the answers are always really good, the questions are always really good, and the discussion really doesn't go on that long. The solutions are usually elegant. Just the way it turns, I don't really think it's just because they're less users. No, sir. Bits will be provided. It's getting quite old. All right, how are we doing? We got. What? Oh, you know what's going on? All right, I've already dealt with this before, but this actually, because I cleaned out my disk directories, it downloaded the Mesa with the hard links embedded in it. So, and because I actually cleaned out my directory, it actually unzipped that. So we need to put that in the trash and put the ones that I've taken the hard links out of. Okay, let's do it. Those are all errors. You can't do hard. It's not going to work. There's nothing you can do to get it to unzip because the hard links are embedded in that file. And if Haiku was the only operating system in the world would be without Mesa. You know, it's not, but ideally, you know, thinking in terms of the best interest of what's best for Haiku, is that Haiku be able to unzip the tar files on its own from any source under any circumstances, which means we need hard links. We want to be fully functional and fully self-supporting, not just self-hosting. But I say these kinds of things because that's what I have in mind for it to be, you know, provide less hassles and be able to do more things, basically. It doesn't mean anybody's going to do it or have the time to do it or, you know, it's work, obviously. That's my hope, that'll be fixed, and that's why. If that's not a good reason, I don't know what is. I want Haiku to be a fully capable operating system. Capable of building its own stuff. You know, and I guess, you know, the idea of actually hosting all the Haiku build stuff in Haiku, you can't do that. You know, like if we need some source that has hard links in the tar file, we just won't be able to use that. That actually, I think, prevents us from being completely self-hosting. I think the kernel's good enough. I mean, just look. Let's try copying something in there. How about that? I mean, Samba works just as nicely, just as well as anything else. So I'll just look for some big thing. I don't know. Actually, I'll just get it from another network drive. And I'm going to demonstrate how well this works, actually. So there, okay? Let's, tell you what I'm going to do. Let's see how big is this thing. So here is a copy of a World Series game from 1999. It's 795 megabytes big. I'm going to copy this into Haiku. Sometimes I get really nice performance. hoping to see it go at some ridiculously fast speed. 3.2 megabytes a second is slower than what I've seen. Sometimes I've seen 100 megabytes a second. Not into Haiku, but what I'm saying is I think it might actually be possible to go that fast into Haiku under the right circumstances. But still, I mean, it's going 3.3 megabytes a second. Not kilobytes a second, megabytes a second. Five. I'm just going to be about done. I'm probably not going to have any success with this Mesa, which has been one heck of a pita. This is actually the reality of the day-to-day grind, especially in something that's hard to solve. And it's not just people that are trying to port apps that spend this much time doing stuff, and it's the people that make this OS as well. Probably even more so. I mean, they've done a lot of work just to get to where it is. But my motivation is the hopes that all that effort will actually be honored by using the system, basically. I'm actually trying to honor the effort that was made by making apps available that people can use, or more apps available people can use. Okay, so it's done. So I didn't see any. I'll just try to copy it out and see if that makes any difference. What do we got here? Where is it? There it is. Change the name. Whoa, look at that. 20 megabytes is, no, never mind. 5 megabytes a second. So that's going at the same speed. This is copying out. Actually, it's cutting out. There it is. Cancel this. It's a good multimedia operating system, I'll say that. And I don't think it has. Yeah, that's Roger Clemens. It's not working too well there. For some reason. And most of the videos I play are not like that. As I've shown on multiple occasions, and just to make that clear. I'm going to play for like 5 seconds. See, works fine. This happens to be a WebM file, actually. I'm just going to toss it. And then I get to wait all this time to see if passing LD flags, and if that doesn't work, I'll try .libs, and that doesn't work. You know? And that's the deal. That's the problem, is it takes such a long time to figure out. And that's basic, just having the basic information. One of the reasons why I come on here is, you know, if it took me a long time just to get a partial answer or a half answer, or, you know, I'll get on here, I'll talk about it. Or if I don't do that, at least I'll float something up to get. Now, in one case, one thing I'm weak at is RPath. I have to learn what that means and how it applies and how to deal with it in Haiku here. I really still don't know what that means. I get the idea that it means it's going to use headers and libraries from a different place than what's considered normal. I just don't know how to get that to happen. Whether, you know, if you go in the make file, there's usually maybe a -L and a -R. Is the -R the R path? Or do I have to have RPath's path to configure when you pass the RPath, you know, and how do you get it to go to the path you want it to go to? Would the solution simply be that I just go into settings and just say, okay, RPath equals boot home package bin, boot home package library, boot home package include, and I'm done? I mean, you know, so I don't know. And I have to experiment to figure that out. I don't just want a straightforward answer. But I don't know if the answer really is straightforward. Even though I have disabled shared memory, I'm still getting implicit declarations of this or that. You know, did I close all these terminals? Yeah, I did. Copy that because I already have the libraries there. I'll just do it again. Let's do another readelf. -A. Actually, -D, see if I'm getting, even if the passing of the LD flags made a difference at all. Is it in there? I got, oh my god. All right, so I got those in there. All right, now let's see if it makes a difference. Off -D and rep caps and all right. All right. right, let's see. Um, let's see. What was I'm gonna make sure did I do that wrong? I mean, fast do read elf minus A. Wrong A. It's UN. The thing is UND. So let me do this again. Grep. I'm still getting these undefined references. Yeah, it didn't make any difference. Library translation's in there, library game is in there. And those are the same things that link with are linked with Haiku. So there's nothing to see. I'm pretty sure that if I replace try to run Foo Billiard against the library Mesa that I wrote, in fact, I'm just gonna do. Okay, I could always restore that. So I'm gonna do bmake replace. And let me guess, I've lost this, right? Am I over 2 gigs? All right, I'm going to stop here. And here's the deal. I'm probably not going to do another video on this same subject. If my next video isn't me talking about how I've solved this issue with undefined references, but it doesn't look like it is, then I didn't. Otherwise, you'll see another video.